Well, I just got my new Alora style quick change tool post holder. I say it's an Alora style because it looks similar to them, but big difference. This is right here, China. I'm poor, so that's what we got. So we just received that in the mail. This is kind of what we got going here. So the task for this evening is basically this goes on here, and then there's actually a plate, which is right here. And in theory, a couple of ways we could do this. One way is we could take and we could machine this plate right here on the mill. We could cut it so it's the same distance as this. I'll show you what this one looks like, which is probably not that big a deal. Put this off here. So that it basically would look like that one. By chance we were thinking that maybe, well, what's the chances that this is the same thread as that one? Well, it's not. So went ahead and pulled this off here, and sure enough, it's too small, or excuse me, it's too big. This one's too small. So thinking of a couple little options, how I can go about this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to make a shaft same length as this guy with this pitch, but I want to use this nut. So kind of investigating this a little bit, took our little fancy pitch gauge here and checked these threads. Of course, this is an Enco brand lathe made in China, but it's been a doggone good lathe. So I had a feeling that would be metric, and sure enough, it's a metric thread there, which is not a big deal because we can thread metric on this guy here. But then I started to look at this thread. Well, it's American, it's 18. That's 150, and this is 18. So these are the gears. So what we'll end up doing is we're going to go ahead and we got a piece of shaft here, just a random shaft that we had laying around. We'll go ahead and machine this down to this diameter here on the small end, and then we'll leave the rest. Here's our shop cat here. Stop. And we'll leave the rest this diameter, and we'll make it 4 inches or however long, 6 inches that is. So once we get that final, then we'll go ahead and cut this American 18, and then we got to go ahead and switch the change gears, because the good thing about having a Chinese lathe, like some of the Clausings and some of the South Bends and other lathes, they can't thread Chinese because of course they're made in America. Why would you want to thread Chinese metric? So I can do metric threads on this guy here. Just a matter of changing a few of the quick change gears. Not that big a deal. But I'll go ahead and machine the shaft, and I'll cut these threads onto one end, and then I'll go ahead and switch the change gears, and I think that's going to be the quickest way. Quite a bit of material. I mean, I could put this in the mill, and I mean, it's not, not impossible, but I mean, I've already got this, it's set up. It just makes more sense to try it that way. And these are pretty slick. They got a pretty I've been wanting one of these since I started machining, and just never really got around to it. It's got a knurler on this end, and then you could put your tool in there. Oops. And this is for your parting tool. Just pretty doggone nice. The good thing about these guys here is with this style, if you don't have the right tool bit, you have to space it up, which is not that big a deal. But for changeover and stuff, it's kind of lame. You got to space it so it's in center. And with this, you can go ahead and it goes on this piston, which everyone knows about these. Any machinist knows about this stuff. And then you set your depth for your center right here. And this is a piston. You just release this. This drops in there, boom, set already on center for all your tools. So you can have, for instance, those smaller tools, and they'll fit in here, and you could get bigger tools and still get away. The setup is so much quicker. And you can loosen this, and you can raise it up and down for your work or different size tools. And of course, this is what I deal with. Jack's the shop cat. So that's the task of the evening. I just want to do a quick video. I'm doing it on my phone because I started doing YouTube videos. And I went ahead and dropped my camera. It still works, but the screen doesn't work, so you can't tell what you're videotaping. So I'm gonna get a new one, and I'm gonna start kind of tinkering in the garage here and showing people a little bit what's going on. So I'll keep you updated.